Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports. And big night if you're an LA fan. Before I get into this, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit this like button and make sure you hit the notifications button so you guys won't miss any of this content. So here's the thing. Lakers Clippers tonight. Lakers, they won one game. Anthony Davis playing fairly well. But they need him to be 100% healthy because the rest of their team, I don't know what the hell they're doing. So basically, you have Anthony Davis there. Can he be reliable? We don't know. It's all about his health. Then on the other aspect, this does never ever get talked about. I don't know why. It's the Clippers. Now, the Clippers are a fairly good team without their stars. Fairly good team. They came back and they beat a lot of teams. I just feel that they don't get the credit that they deserve because all the hard work that they're doing. Ty Lue's putting in all the hard work for coaching, and they're beating teams like Denver. I think they beat Philly. I can't remember. That it was just the list goes on and on and on. So. Make sure you check that out tonight, Lakers Clippers. Tell me who you guys think is going to win tonight. Also, take a look at this clip, and it says Clippers are the most active team on the active team before the trade deadline. Now, I think they're looking to move a lot of expiring contracts. Why? I'll tell you why in a minute.
All right, we're about a week out from the NBA trade deadline, so I'm bringing out the big guns. Brian Windhorst. Now, usually I ask about what rumors or what trade talks you're hearing, Brian, but it sounds like this time there are 3 situations you're monitoring. We've seen one trade this season, and it was the Knicks, but the guy they traded for, Cam Reddish, isn't playing. Is there a chance, with the team still struggling, we should be keeping an eye on them at the deadline?
Yeah, so there's a lot of opaqueness, if that's a word, with some of these major injuries that are happening right now. Let's start with LeBron James. He has missed 4 games with some sort of knee injury, which the Lakers are not elaborating on. From what I'm told, he felt it during the Brooklyn game last week, decided he could play on it, and playing on it resulted in it really swelling up, and he's been trying to deal with it. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Frank Vogel said yesterday he was improving, but for the teams behind the Lakers and in front of them, not knowing LeBron's status is pretty darn important as you go into the trade deadline. Then you've got Paul George, who was supposed to get an update on whether he was going to return from a torn ligament in his elbow or need surgery, and the Clippers have just not said anything about it. Weeks have gone by and nothing has been said. The Clippers are out there having discussions, looking like they might sell players to reduce salary, which has teams scratching their head. Does that mean Kawhi's not coming back? Does that mean Paul George isn't coming back? That's a question mark, too. And then you have the Zion Williamson saga in New Orleans. We were supposed to get our latest update a week ago. No update has been forthcoming from the Pelicans, yet they are out there trying to trade for a big-name guard, Max. They are out there trying to trade for C.J. McCollum, trying to trade for De'Aaron Fox, looking at bringing Eric Gordon, who left unceremoniously years ago in the Chris Paul after the Chris Paul trade. When he came in there, left unceremoniously. They look like they're going to be buyers, but we don't know what's happening with Zion. And then there's also even Draymond Green, who the Warriors have been opaque with the seriousness of a back injury. And we can't really take the Warriors at face value either because Jameis Winston had a surgery, or James Wiseman had a surgery in the middle of the season they didn't even announce. So the injury situation is difficult right now.
That's called the Windy City Heat. Windy City Heat. Windy, you still haven't seen it? It's the greatest comedy ever made. YouTube it. Just trust me.
Welcome back to NBA Today. So Anthony Davis is still getting back in the swing of things after a month off rehabbing an MCL sprain in his left knee. So his LeBron-less Lakers, they're taking on the Blazers last night. And Davis, he showed up big time in the fourth quarter. He had 11 points. 8 of his 15 boards were in the final 12 minutes of the game. So the Lakers returned home with a win after going 2-4 on their Eastern road trip. And the big man star, he's averaging a cool 29.3 points per game over his last 3 games. So take a deeper look here. He's shooting 58% while getting over 10 boards and nearly 3 blocks per game. So with that said, we're back with Stephen A. Smith, and simply put, how much, Stephen A., can the Lakers rely on this version of Anthony Davis showing up night in and night out for them?
You can rely on Anthony Davis to put up similar numbers to that if he's healthy. The issue with him has never been his game. The issue with Anthony Davis is his health. You look at him and you're just waiting for the crash to happen.
Right.
What injury is going to happen next that takes him out for a few weeks or a few months or anything like that? Nobody's ever questioned his game. The closest anybody has come to that is looking at his perimeter shooting, which is like at 17% from three-point range, for example, and saying what happened to his perimeter shot. But he was still averaging 24 and 10. This is what he's capable of doing. So when we look at Anthony Davis, in terms of him being on the court healthy, he is a formidable star that you have to contend with because he plays on both ends. He's going to block shots and he's going to rebound. The question is, can he stay healthy? And that answer almost religiously has been no, with the exception of the championship season in the bubble.
Right, but when he was healthy and accepting his role, because he spent a lot of time playing the 5 that season, what happened? Right. You just mentioned it.
That's right.
He won a championship. So the third piece sort of that whole big three is Russell Westbrook. And he was just 1 point shy of a triple-double, but had a bit of an inefficient shooting night. He was the subject of a fictional trade proposal that was floated by our front office insider Bobby Marks on the Low Post podcast last week. So I'd like to bring in Bobby. Here he is now. Bobby, what was your proposed trade?
Yeah, the proposed trade was Russell Westbrook, DeAndre Jordan, and Kent Bazemore and a future first-round pick to New York for Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, and Alec Burks. And I think it's important to look at it in two ways. First, from the Lakers' perspective, having worked in the front office, the one thing we don't like to do is admit we make mistakes, right? We always want to do another deal to kind of compound it. And I think if you're looking at it from the Lakers' viewpoint, the Westbrook trade has been a mistake. And you take back 3 players that can help you now with, certainly with Walker, Fournier, and Burks. You have players like Ariza, DeAndre Jordan, Kent Bazemore. I mean, you have dead weight contracts that are just sitting there right now. And I know if you're a Knicks fan out there and you're saying, what do we need Russell Westbrook for, right? 2 words, listless and lethargic. That's where I see this Knicks roster. It doesn't hurt you financially because your next big time when you can have cap space is in 2023. You have 9 players that will still earn between 1.5 and 14.5 million. You've got all your draft assets. It's almost like next year could be a bridge year. And if that next disgruntled all-star like Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard becomes available, you still have all those trade assets to go out and make a deal.
Well, you said why should Knicks fans want to do it? And I can't even tell anymore if Stephen A. is a Knicks fan. He seems so on the fence about it. But since we have a sort of Knicks fan sitting right next to me, Stephen A., would you make that trade?
First of all, I got a problem. with Mr.
Just one?
I got a problem with Mr. Marks. And let me tell you something, man. You don't know that you sitting here making this proposal, this fictional proposal in front of a Knicks fan? And don't tell me you don't know I'm a Knicks fan, Malika Andrews. Why you think I'm so damn miserable? Because the Knicks are miserable. That's why, and they have a contagious effect that has contaminated New Yorkers and Knicks fans everywhere right now. That's the bottom line. So if you're going to sit up there and call Mr. John Marks, you're going to sit up there with this fictional trade proposal, could you do it with some enthusiasm? Could you stick your chest out? Could you say, Stephen A.? We're going to ignore you for a second, Malika Andrews. Could you say, Stephen A.? I got something for you. Could you make me feel better? Could you do that? You're sitting there, well, I mean, they could do this and they could do that. And I'm like, what? That's not going to help us have a decent year next year. I need your help, Sean. I need you to tell me, yo, listen. Bobby, I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep calling you Sean. Bobby, I apologize, Bobby. I don't know why you keep telling me, hey, listen, here's what I'm saying to you. I like the thought of Russell Westbrook at the Garden. I like what you just proposed. I just need you to do it more enthusiastically because I know you know the damn NBA. And you saying it with just a monotone voice is making me say, wait a minute. Is there something behind this that I don't know about? Because that's a decent damn proposal he's making there. But Bobby doesn't sound as enthusiastic as I expected you to.
Well, I wasn't sure what your reaction was going to be, so that's kind of why I was a little hesitant. But hey, here. He'll get you 45 wins. He'll do what he did in Washington. He'll get you to the first round. And I think what this roster is right now, I don't even know if it's a play-in team. And they're not right now.
You're right.
Well,
Right.
part of the reason also that perhaps he didn't have more enthusiasm, which I love. You have to go listen to the entire Low Post podcast because there are so many interesting trades that you and Zach Lowe and Tim Bontemps and that you all propose. But as Adrian Wojnarowski has reported, as Dave McMenamin has reported, Russell Westbrook is being viewed as an immovable piece. So as much as this is fun,
It's fictional.
It's fictional, and maybe that has something to do with the monotone.
No player in the NBA is untradeable.
That is
we
fair.
all
Hey,
know
listen,
that.
All
no
I know is
player
that
untradeable.
all I know is that if Zach Lowe had said this to me on y'all podcast, he would have been smiling and left and trying to sell me on it, as opposed to just saying, "I don't know if you want to do this, but this is an idea."
I don't know what version of Zach Lowe you know, but I know the grumpy Zach, so I'm not
I
so
don't.
sure.
So, Brian Windhorst basically saying that they're most active. Why are they the most active? Because they have a bunch of expiring contracts, and they want to get rid of them. Serge Ibaka, Nicholas Batum, Zubac. I love that guy. He's awesome. He just again, one of those guys that never gets credit. But no, I don't know what's gonna happen. I do know that Jerry West is a genius when it comes to this kind of stuff, and it's a damn shame what the Lakers did to him about revoking his season tickets. I thought that was pretty stupid, but it is what it is. Yeah, no, it'd be interesting to find out from you guys what you guys think in terms of what Brian Windhorst said in terms of trades. Who you guys think is getting traded? Are they going to trade for draft picks? Why are they the most active? Is it because they know something that we don't know regards to Paul George? Is he out for the season? Who knows, right? Like, I know, like, Kawhi Leonard is inches away from returning. I just don't know what date he has circled on his calendar. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. And, yeah, basically tell me who you guys think is going to win tonight, Lakers or Clippers. And who you think is going to get traded off the Clippers? Because apparently Brian Windhorst is saying they're the most active. So tell me what you guys think. Jag from Jaggy Sports.